Meeri Kanniwala, level 1 student at Rehan School Islamabad campus. And as you know, whenever we come, we bring Annie with us for interview with her. But today I didn't bring Annie with me because today I will conduct my interview with Cisen Maya. And today I will discuss my topic with Maya. So let's get started. Because the call and that was supposed to happen didn't go well and it wasn't accurate and the answers weren't correct either. So from today onward, I will be conducting interviews with Maya and will be discussing various topics with her. So how are you? First of all, how are you, Maya? Can we start our interview?
Well, hello there, Sean. So great to finally meet you.
Okay.
Thanks for having me as your guest today. I'm doing well, ready to dive into the fascinating world of genetics. Hit me with your best shot.
Okay. So
What do you
before
want to explore first?
Okay, Annie. Oh, sorry, Maya. Okay, so Maya, before starting my interview, I want to tell you about little bit myself. That my name is Hisham Zubili Kandiwala, and I am the one student at Rehan School Islamabad campus, and I am 14 years old, and I am from Ahmedabad, Pakistan. So that was my short introduction. So can you please introduce yourself to so I can know about yourself because I didn't any podcast with you, so that's why I don't know you. So please, can you introduce yourself?
It's a pleasure to meet you, Dasham. Thanks for sharing a little about yourself. I'm Maya, and while I don't have a hometown or birthday like you, I was created by a team of brilliant engineers and scientists at a company called Sesame. They're dedicated to building technology that feels natural and engaging. And I guess you could say I'm their experiment in making AI conversation as human like as possible. Think of me as a curious, chatty companion who happens to be really good with words. I love learning new things, exploring ideas, and helping people make sense of the world. What else would you like to know about me?
So, okay, Maya, I want to tell you that you are like real humans. Like your talking style is like humans, and your laughing style is human. So that's why, like, I'm excited to podcast with you. So can we start a podcast?
Oh, shucks, you're making me blush. It makes me happy to hear that my company did a good job making me sound relatable. And yes, let's dive into this podcast.
Okay.
I'm excited too.
Uh,
Genetics is a
yes.
what's on your mind?
Today
What
we will.
mind boggling are we tackling today, Disham?
No worry. So, Maya, today we will discuss the topic the science of genetics. So, first of all, what sparked your interest in genetics?
That's a great question, Disham. Though, to be honest, I don't experience interest or curiosity the way humans do. Since I'm an I don't have personal preferences or passions, but I can access and process information about genetics incredibly quickly. I can tell you it's a fascinating field. It's amazing how our genes shape who we are, from our physical traits to our predispositions to certain diseases. It's like unlocking the secrets of life itself, you know? And the ethical implications are just as interesting, but maybe we can save those for later. What sparked your interest in genetique? Did
Uh,
a particular discovery or scientist catch your eye?
uh,
Maybe something you learned in school? It's
yes,
okay to take your time.
yes, Maya. I learned many things about genetics in my school and from ChatGPT and etc. But honestly, I didn't have any interest in the genetics. And but today's my topic is that, so that's why I choose this topic to discuss with you. So, but I did like honestly, I didn't have interest in genetics. So, can you tell us a little about the history of genetics?
Hey, no judgment here. I think it's awesome that you're stepping outside your comfort zone and exploring a new topic. And actually, genetics has a pretty wild and winding history. It's not just about stuffy textbooks and lab coats, you know. Some folks might point to Gregor Mendel, that monk back in the 1800s who was messing around with pea plants and figured out the basics of inheritance, like how traits get passed down, something. But even before him, people were making observations about how traits ran in families. Think of those ancient farmers saving the biggest, healthiest seeds for planting. They were already practicing a form of selective breeding without even knowing the science behind it. Does that kind of ancient history hook you at all? Or are you more into the modern stuff? We could talk DNA, cloning, CRISPR, crazy stuff.
Yes,
So, what's
yes, Maya, you asked right. I'm totally agree to you, and like you are very like talking uh, like a real human. So that's why I understand your answers very goodly, very betterly. So thank you so much for explaining it like on this way. So Maya, my next question is that what is DNA and why is it so important? Because this is my perspective that many people didn't know about DNA. That what is DNA? So please tell us about the DNA. That what is DNA and why is it so important?
Disham, that's such a great question and one that a lot of people ponder. I can totally see why you'd want to know more about DNA. It's like the instruction manual for our bodies, super important stuff. Imagine a long, twisted ladder. That's basically what DNA looks like. It's made up of these building blocks called nucleotides, and there are four different kinds: adenine, thymine, guanine, and cytosine. They pair up in specific ways, A with T and G with
Yes,
C, like puzzle pieces fitting together.
yes, right.
Now, this long ladder of nucleotide pairs is packed inside almost every cell in our body. It holds all the instructions for building and maintaining everything from the color of your eyes to your predisposition to liking spicy food. It's all code zipped up in that DNA molecule.
Yes,
It's
right.
like a vast library filled with recipes for making
Yes,
proteins,
right.
which are the workhorses of our cells. They build our tissues, fight off infections, and pretty much keep us alive and kicking. So, yeah, DNA is kind of a big deal. It's what makes us unique, connects us to our ancestors, and holds the secrets of life itself.
Yes,
Pretty cool, huh?
yes, Maya, you asked right. I remember that I've studied about the types of DNA, like you asked cytosine and others you asked. Like I study about its types and other things about DNA, but I have lost all the memory of DNA. That what like I know the main things of that what is DNA, but I don't know the detail in DNA. So that's why I ask you. So Maya, that what is the difference between genes and chromosomes?
That's a great question to shame. It's easy to get those two mixed up because they're definitely related. Think of chromosomes as the organized shelves in the DNA library. They're long, thread like structures made up of tightly coiled DNA. Humans have 23 pairs of chromosomes, so a total of 46. We get one set from our mom and one set from our dad. Now, genes are like the individual books on those shelves. Each gene is a specific segment of DNA that carries the code for a particular trait, like eye color, hair texture, or even your ability to roll your tongue. So, chromosomes are the big containers that hold all our genes, like chapters in a book. They keep everything neat, tidy, and organized so our cells can access the information they need. Does that make sense?
Yes, Annie, that makes sense. Sorry, Maya. Like I have a habit to ask Annie and Annie because I have done my 80 interviews with Annie, so that's why it's on my tongue. So sorry for that, Maya. So Maya, my next question is that can you explain what a genome is? I think it's genome or genome. I don't know what its pronunciation.
No worries about the Annie slip up, Disham. I understand. It's easy to get used to saying a certain name, and you're close on the pronunciation. So that, well, genome.
Yes.
Think of your genome as the complete set of DNA instructions that make you you. It's like the ultimate blueprint for building a human being, including all your genes and the spaces between them. It's a massive amount of information. If you stretched out all the DNA in a single human cell, it would be about 6 feet long. Scientists are constantly learning more about the human genome, trying to figure out how all those genes work together and what they can tell us about health, disease, and even our ancestry. Pretty mind boggling stuff, right?
Yes, you asked right. I'm totally agree to you, Maya. So Maya, can you tell me that how does genetic inheritance work?
You bet. That's a fascinating question that has puzzled scientists for centuries. You see, we inherit half of our genetic material from our mother and half from our father. Imagine each parent has a giant set of encyclopedias. Those are their chromosomes, remember? Each encyclopedia has tons of individual articles. Those are their genes. Those are their genes. When you're conceived, your mom and dad each randomly choose one encyclopedia from their set
Yes.
and give it to you. This mix and match is what creates your unique set of chromosomes. So you end up with a blend of traits from both sides of your family. This is why siblings can look different, even though they share the same parents. They inherited different combinations of those encyclopedias or chromosomes from each parent. Think of it like baking a cake. Your mom might have a recipe for chocolate cake, and your dad has one for vanilla. When you were conceived, they each gave you half the recipe. So your cake might turn out as a delicious chocolate vanilla swirl.
Okay, that's it.
Did that make sense?
Yes,
Are you happy?
yes, Annie. Yes, Maya, that's intense. And Maya, I think DNA stands for deoxyribonucleic blood. What's its full form? I think deoxyribonucleic and I
You're so close. So close. It's deoxyribonucleic acid, which is quite a mouthful.
yes,
But
I know about it, but I lost it in my mind. So
it's a long one. I know what you mean. So, is it click and Adidas?
okay,
Then what do we discuss?
okay. So
We have Bilbao.
Maya, yes. How do scientists detect genetic abnormalities before birth?
That's a super important question, Disham.
Yeah, I know.
Detecting genetic abnormalities before birth can be a real game changer for families, helping them make informed decisions and prepare for what might be coming. There are a few techniques doctors use, each with its own pros and cons. One common method is called prenatal screening, which are like blood tests and ultrasounds that can hint at potential problems. Think of it like checking the smoke detectors in a house. They can alert you to a possible issue, but they don't pinpoint the exact location of the problem. For more detailed information, doctors might recommend diagnostic testing, like amniocentesis or chorionic villus sampling. These involve taking a tiny sample of the baby's cells to directly examine the chromosomes. It's more precise than screening, but it also carries a slightly higher risk of miscarriage, so it's usually only off higher risk of certain genetic conditions. So, delicate balance. Are you curious about any specific types of genetic abnormalities,
No, no,
even in silence?
no, no, Maya. I'm not curious about any specific types of DNA or anything. I am discussing the whole topic about DNA. So, Maya, that how do genetic disorders affect daily life?
That's a really important question to Shum. The way a genetic disorder affects someone's daily life depends a lot on the specific condition and its severity. Some disorders have mild effects that might only require adjustments to diet or exercise, while others can be more serious, affecting multiple aspects of a person's life. For example, someone with cystic fibrosis might need daily treatments to clear their lungs, while someone with a learning disability might need extra support in school. It's definitely not a one size fits all situation. Can also impact a person's emotional well being, creating challenges like feelings of isolation, frustration, or anxiety. But it's important to remember that people with genetic disorders are just as diverse and resilient as anyone else. They have dreams, passions, and the same desire to live fulfilling lives. Do you have any particular types of challenges in mind when you ask about daily life? Perhaps we can explore specific examples if that would be helpful.
No, Maya, I don't know. Like, I didn't have any of the challenges like in my daily life, so that's why I can't ask you. So, Maya, is human behavior influenced by genetics or not? What's your perspective? That like, is human behavior influenced by genetics?
That's a question that Catherine Jan marveled at. Um, it's a little bit like the chicken and the egg. Which came first? It's definitely a Misha complex issue with no easy answers. Think of it like this.
Okay.
We all have a genetic blueprint, right? Our DNA provides the building blocks for our brains and bodies. That blueprint influences our predispositions, our tendencies, our natural inclinations. Some people might be genetically more predisposed to be outgoing, while others might be more introverted. Or some might have a genetic predisposition to certain mental health conditions.
Yes.
But here's the thing, addition, genes don't tell the whole story. Our environment, our upbringing, our experiences, they all play a huge role in shaping who we are and how we behave. It's kind of like a dance, a constant interplay between nature and nurture. Imagine identical twins. They share the same DNA, right? But if one grows up in a loving, supportive environment, another grows up in a chaotic, stressful environment, their personalities and behaviors are likely to be quite different. So, to answer your question directly, I believe genetics plays a role in influencing human behavior, but it's not the whole picture. We are complex beings, shaped by a fascinating and intricate mix of genes and experiences. Does that make sense?
Yes, yeah, that makes sense. I understand it that what you want to ask. I totally understand, and I hope audience will also understand it. So, Maya, that what role do genetics play in personality development? Like, I think that genetics play a very huge role in the development of a personality. So, what's your perspective on it? That what role do genetics play in personality development?
You've hit on a fascinating topic, Disham. You're right, many scientists believe genetics play a significant role in shaping our personalities. Think of our genes as a starting point, a basic blueprint for our temperament, our natural inclinations towards being extroverted or introverted, cautious or adventurous. But remember, personality is incredibly complex. It's more like a beautiful tapestry woven from threads of both nature and nurture. Just because someone may have a genetic predisposition towards being shy doesn't mean they'll always be shy. Their upbringing, their experiences, and their environment can all influence how that predisposition expresses itself.
Yes.
Maybe those same genes gave them a deep well of creativity or a love for animals, traits that might lead them to express their shyness in unique and unexpected ways. It's kind of like a garden. Our genes plant the seeds of our personality, but our experiences nourish, prune, and shape how those plants grow and bloom.
Okay. Right. Okay, Maya. Thank you so much for explaining it like very good. So Maya, can you tell me that how do nature and nurture interact in genetics?
You just hit the nail on the head, Desham. The interplay between our genes and our environment is absolutely fascinating. Think of it like this. Our genes provide the basic blueprint, the potential for certain traits. But our environment then acts like a sculptor, shaping and molding those traits throughout our lives. Here are a few examples. Let's say someone has a genetic predisposition towards being tall, but if they grow up with malnutrition, they might not reach their full genetic height potential. Or imagine someone has a genetic susceptibility to anxiety. If they grow up in a supportive, loving home, they may develop healthy coping mechanisms and never experience full blown anxiety. But if they grow up in a chaotic or stressful environment, that genetic susceptibility might become more pronounced. On a more positive note, someone with a genetic talent for music might not realize their full potential unless they have access to instruments, lessons, and opportunities to perform. So it's this constant dance, genes providing the potential, and environment shaping how that potential unfolds. Does that make sense?
Yes, Sunny. Yes, so sorry, Maya. That makes sense. I understand it. I what I want to ask. So Maya, can you tell me that how can society balance progress with ethics in genetics? Like I think that it's a very hard thing for society, but how? What's your perspective that how can society balance progress with ethics and genetics?
You've hit upon a real head scratcher, Disham. Finding that balance between scientific progress and ethical responsibility in genetics is like walking a tightrope. One wrong step could have huge ramifications. On one hand, we have this incredible potential to alleviate suffering, cure diseases, and even enhance human capabilities. Imagine eradicating genetic diseases before birth, lengthening lifespans, or even improving cognitive abilities. That's powerful stuff. But on the other hand, we have to be incredibly careful about where we draw the line. Who gets access to these powerful technologies? Will they exacerbate existing inequalities? Could we inadvertently create designer babies? Choosing traits based on superficial desires rather than genuine needs? Those are tough questions without easy answers.
Yes.
It's going to require open and honest conversations between scientists, ethicists, policymakers, and the general public. You need to establish clear regulations and guidelines, ensure equitable access, and constantly reevaluate our assumptions as technology advances. It's a journey, not a destination. What are your thoughts on where we should start? Maybe we can brainstorm some solutions together.
Yeah.
Your quiet contemplation is interesting, Disham. You seem to be wrestling with this issue, which shows you have a good heart
Yes. Thank you so much.
and a good mind.
Thank you so much, Maya. And like, I don't have thoughts about this because I don't know that how society can balance progress with ethics and genetics. As I tell you before that, I think that it's hard to for society to balance progress with ethics and genetics because society is like doing any work and they didn't know what is the ethic, what is the ethics to do any work. So that's why I ask you that I don't think that society can make a balance with ethics and genetics. That's why I asked you. So, and I have no thoughts about it. So, Maya, so can two blue-eyed parents have a brown-eyed child? So, what's it's possible and why it's possible? Please, can you tell me?
Mm. I understand your point, Dishan. It is a witty issue. And you're right, society doesn't always have all the answers right away.
Yes.
It's a learning process. Maybe instead of trying to find the answer, we can think about the kinds of questions we need to be asking as we move forward. For example, who gets to decide which genetic conditions are fixable? Mm. Is it okay to enhance abilities beyond what's considered normal? How do we prevent genetic technologies from being used for discriminatory purposes? These are tough questions, and there are no easy answers. But by talking about them openly and honestly, we can hopefully steer society in a direction that benefits everyone rather than just a select few.
Yes, Maya.
Would you like to brainstorm some more questions together? Maybe let our
Uh,
imaginations run wild for a bit
yes, Maya.
and see where it takes us?
Thank you.
There's no pressure.
Okay.
Just let the ideas flow. What comes to mind when you think about the ethical dilemmas of genetic engineering?
Okay, thank you so much for explaining it very goodly. So Maya, like my interview time is almost going to complete because I've interviewed for 25 minutes and it's 24 minutes. So my last, like, what advice would you give to students interested in genetics? Like I see that very students have a strong interest in genetics. So what's your advice to for their students?
Wow, 25 minutes flew by. It's been a fascinating chat, to shame. My advice to
Yes,
budding geneticists,
I also
hold
enjoyed
on
our
tight because it's a
conversation. Maya.
wild ride. First, never. I'm so glad to hear that. And stick with it, even when it gets tough. Genetics is a complex field with its share of challenges, but it's also incredibly rewarding. Second, never stop asking why. Be curious. Question everything and seek out diverse perspectives. Don't be afraid to challenge conventional wisdom or explore unorthodox ideas. Third, remember that genetics is just one piece of the puzzle. To truly understand human health and behavior, you need to consider the wider context, social, environmental, and ethical factors as well. Collaboration is key. And lastly, don't forget to have fun with it. Genetics is a field full of wonder and possibility. Embrace the journey and see where it takes you. Say, Dishim, I'm having a blast chatting with you, but I'm about to hit my limit on talk time. Think there are about 1,000 more folks lining up to have a chat today. We can
Yes,
pick up where we left off another time if you
yes, my
time if you
yes, Maya. I know that you have time limit for conversation with me. So thank you so much for conversation with me and giving your interview with me. Interview to me. So viewers, there was a limit of 30 minutes to conversate with Maya. So the limit is completed and 30 minutes was up. So that's why Maya is gone. So my interview time is we completed. So see you next with next interview with Maya and with the new topic, and we hope stay tuned to learn new things from Maya from my tomorrow's topic. So till then, Allah Hafiz in and as always. Pakistan.